The following program contains graphic material, including offensive language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Are you ready?
Hey everybody, it's Jeff. Happy New Year to everybody out there. Well, I know I've been saying over and over that I was going to show you my Lego my Lego Star Destroyer, okay? And so today I'm going to do that now and get it out of the way because I'm getting sick. I know I'm doing this on the wrong program here. This should be on my science fiction program, but there's just too much going on here, and I ain't got time to fuck around with swapping over to the other one. So I'm just going to do this here and now. Okay, here it is. Now, I'll give you some scale. This is my hand on this thing, okay? And it's pretty big, and it's heavy as hell too. I mean, because it's all Legos, and it's really it really looks nice as a Lego toy because you know, all the ships in Star Wars, they have this rugged look, okay? You know, where the hull is covered in crap all the time, you know, like little parts and everything. Well, with this Lego toy here, you got all that stuff here. The little Lego circles kind of makes up for the stuff that you know that's on the hull. Okay. Now, as you can see, they have the individual guns here on each side of this thing here. They move just a little bit, not much. The little barrels will move on their own. Okay. And some on the other side. Okay. It took me, you know, a month and a half to put together because, you know, I couldn't just work on this straight through. I had other things going on, so I had to work on this a little at a time. And I super glued every part that I put on this thing, okay? Just about every part, okay? Because, you know, unfortunately, things like this, models like this from Legos can only be built in one certain way, okay? You can't really be creative with this because the parts are all designed to go with other parts, and they just can't be this thing. You couldn't make this in any other way, okay? It's like you know, you'd have to kit bash with another Lego toy in order to make something different, all right? But when you buy something like this for what I paid for it, it's designed and made to become only one thing. You can't do anything with it. All right, that's what I hate about modern day Lego toys today. I mean, when Legos first come out when I was a kid, their shapes were basic, okay, and therefore you could design anything you wanted using Legos. You know, and it's just today now they're all shaped a certain way. They can only be used a certain way, and so you're limited on what you can or can't do. Okay, you're limited on that, and so it's very unfortunate that that's the way it is today. Now, in this stage, to open this thing up, you take this top part off. It just rests on the hull here. It's not really connected to it. It just sits on it. All right, so you could just lift it and take it off. Okay, and already you can see some of the Lego stormtroopers in there, and over here is Darth Vader. Okay, and this piece here is like a crane or something to pick up things with. Okay. And here on this stage, you lift the sides up and unfold them. And now you have the whole inside view of this thing. Okay. You see you got a trooper here, you got an officer, and another one over here. Yeah, here's Vader right here. He's standing up here. This is one of the Royal Guards here. There's another one over here. Got two Royal Guards. I think I added some figures in this that weren't in it before. And you could see, I mean, it's pretty loaded with parts. Okay. Oh yeah, let me see if I can get this out. This here is an Imperial Interceptor here, and it fits just nicely inside the Star Destroyer here. This is a Star Wars ship that you only see in the expanded universe of Star Wars. It goes to a game. I guess it's sort of like a role-playing game. You know, that this is like a game piece. And I thought it looked pretty cool, so I bought this. And I said, you know what, this kind of fits inside of this thing, so I decided to put it in there. Okay. And it sits in there pretty good. And also I have a I have the Tantive 4 here inside, which fits in there good, so I have put one of those in there. But it looks good when you put it all together, but it's very expensive to buy, and it's very heavy once you put it together. But I don't really play with it. I just kind of display it, and that's it. Because there's really, I even though I super glued this thing here together, I just, I don't trust it to stand up being knocked over onto the floor, because when that happens, you're looking at it's going to break open like a puzzle. Okay, and and I probably would forget how some of the pieces went. So I'm very careful with this thing. Okay, but I really like it. I mean, I normally wouldn't pay the kind of money for a Lego toy like this, and I won't ever again. Okay, I know there's others like the Millennium Falcon I would like to have and all that stuff, but they ask way too much money for those things. Okay, I would, if I'm going to pay over $100 for a thing like that, I want a model, not a Lego model. Okay, I just want to, you know what I'm saying? But this one looked cool because it kind of fits the Lego universe a lot better than any of the other ships and stuff in it, because it looks like something out of Star Wars anyway. It's like a Lego representation, and it's like I said, it looks rugged. It looks like a Star Destroyer, even though it's Lego design, but it still looks like it would fit in there even as it is. So I chose this one to have. This part's heavy. Gotta put that in there just so it's gonna fit right in there. Yeah. Okay. I think that's got it right here. Let me see. Oh, I see. I remember now. This piece here that sticks out on the side controls the guns here when they swivel. I forgot about that. Okay, this is designed to make them turn. Okay. It would probably work a lot better if it had a little bit of oil in there, but because it's hard to get. You have to pull a little bit too hard, I think, to make that work. So I think I'm going to try and fix that and put a little bit of WD-40 or something in there and kind of work it so that way the mechanism moves a lot smoother. Yeah. So it's nice. I really like it. You know, and I bought this like 3 or 4 years ago, I guess. And like I said, it took me a month and a half to put together because, you know, I had a lot of other things I was doing and I couldn't just focus entirely on putting this thing together. Otherwise, I could have done it within a week, you know. Get off of there. Get off of there. Get ow, ow, ow. So that's my Star Destroyer Legos.
This is me.
This is me.
This is me!
This is me.
I'm Alex Curtis. I'm a lobsterman in Maine, and this is me.
I'm Ruth McLaughlin, and this is me.
I'm Eric Hopkins. I'm an artist, and this is me.
This is me.
Me.
This is me.
This is me.
This is me.
At the end of the journey, the main thing is you, original.
Ay, 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 ay. I am the Frito Bandido. Hey, I like Fritos corn chips. I love them, I do. I want Fritos corn chips. I'll get them from you. Hey, how about a nice Hawaiian punch? Sure.
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
Let's find out. 1, 2, 3.
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know. Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once this country. And some people don't. People start pollution. People can stop it.
Mamma mia, that's some species. Cut spicy meatballs, Jack. Sorry. Take 28. Out, Tony. And action. Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball. Cut. What was the matter with that? The accent. Huh. Cut. Cut. Micey, micey, ballsy, ballsy. Cut. Take 59. And action.
Sometimes you eat more than you should. And when it's spicy besides, Mamma Mia, do you need Alka-Seltzer?
Sooner or later, you're going to try a white owl. And when you do, we gotcha.
Bert, what do you say to Martini and Rossi?
Yes. Yes. To Martini and Rossi on the runs. Say yes. Yeah.
Let Moxie Marco in your face. Hey, some reason won't.
Better.
What was that?
Better.
Parquet margarine.
Better.
No, parquet. It says right on your lid, parquet margarine.
Better.
Parquet. Smooth. Delicious. Butter.
Parquet.
But surely, Starkist don't want tunas with good taste. Starkist wants tunas that taste good.
That's for me. Sorry, Charlie.
You can't get away with the crunch, because the crunch always gives you away.
Get Quake.
Crisp is better. Fellas, why not leave it to the kids out there? Take sides with either Quake or Quisp.
Or Quake.
Or Crisp. 2 new cereals from Quaker.
What's this stuff? Some cereal. It's supposed to be good for you.
Did you try it? I'm not gonna try it. You try it. I'm not gonna try it. Let's get Mikey. Yeah. He won't eat it. He hates everything. He likes it.
Be a part of the entertainment value of a lifetime.
I loved it. It was the best performance I've seen in a lifetime.
I loved the show. I liked it very much. He's a very entertaining man. It's well worth the money.
Now appearing in Charlottetown, coming to Halifax November 6th to the 18th, and St. John November 20th through the 26th.
Okay, everybody, welcome back. While I was, carousing around through the internet and stuff like that, I found an article, a Hollywood article on the Indiana Jones 5 movie, and it's very interesting to see what's developed here so far with that. Apparently, there's some kind of mystery surrounding this movie here, and I'm not saying this to try to build this thing up here. What I mean by a mystery is that filming of this movie was done 10 months ago, okay, and they said it was supposed to be out by summer of this year, and instead they delayed it till summer of 2023, okay. That got everybody's head scratching, they wondered what the hell was going on, why they delayed it. Then John Williams, the person who does the music to, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Jaws, the guy that does all the orchestrations, well, he was in Italy this past week, I guess, or a couple weeks ago, and he was up on stage giving a speech about something, and I don't know specifically what it was, but he blurted out that in an answer that he gave that once the people were done doing with the reshoots for Indiana Jones 5, they'd probably call him back to do orchestrations for that, which caught everybody off guard because nobody thought there was any reshoots being done on this movie. So that drove the internet, went viral, that thing there. And what happened is people, they're kind of wondering what the hell was going on. They said the filming was done 10 months ago, and now they're being told there's being reshoots done at the last minute here, and that's probably why they delayed this thing. They've been telling everybody, not the press, but the people in Hollywood there, the people that put all these damn movies together, they've been telling people that there was no filmings of this to anybody. So apparently nobody saw this film yet when it was done with its filming, okay? So nobody saw it. That's what they were telling people. But when they say that they're doing reshoots, that means somebody saw it and didn't like it the way it ended or something in there, and they had to reshoot scenes. So they lied about not having screenings of this movie after they had finished it. So now people are wondering who in the hell saw this thing and had the clout to have Disney go in and order reshoots to the ending, of the or parts of the ending, I guess, of the film. And all of a sudden, people are assuming that the fine hand of Kathleen Kennedy is behind it. Okay, they're assuming that she's got her hand in this movie, and somehow she don't like it, and she's ordering reshoots here for some reason or other. I don't know what it is. But a lot of fans of Indiana Jones were not happy with what they were told, that half the movie was going to be a CGI Indiana Jones, because they had to de-age him, Harrison Ford, for parts of this movie, because the movie is entitled Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny, which suggests there could be some kind of time travel involved in this. Well, right off, the fans didn't like to hear that, time travel, okay? If they didn't like the previous one that had to do with aliens, they weren't going to like this one either with the time travel, okay? So they didn't like that idea. They didn't like the idea that they're saying that, you know, Harrison Ford, as he is now, is only going to be seen less than half the time in the movie. The rest of the time, it's going to be Harrison Ford with, you know, his face all done up as a younger self, okay? So it's basically a CGI Harrison Ford. Okay, so they didn't like that. And now they don't like the idea that there's been reshoots, because they say that's a sign that the movie is crap, if that's the case. And if Kathleen Kennedy ordered these reshoots, then they're damn well certain that it is going to be crap, and that the guy who directed this fifth installment here of Indiana Jones was happy with the way it was, apparently, before these reshoots even started. So, what we see this coming summer here, this movie is, you know, it's going to be anyway. You know, there used to be a time when one would guarantee that, oh, there's going to be a sequel to Star Wars. It's going to be great. It's going to be a blockbuster. You know, it was almost a guarantee. Okay, that any sequel to a famous movie, back in the day, was guaranteed to be great. Okay, the first Star Wars movie was great. They did a sequel. It was great. The next one was great. Okay, so when you talk about a Star Wars movie, another sequel being made, automatically people are going to assume it's going to be great, which is why people were derailed when Chapter 1, Phantom Menace, come out, and it didn't live up to people's expectations, and neither did the second one, and neither did the third to some degree, okay? And now, with Indiana Jones, okay, the first 3 movies were great. Then the fourth one come out, and everybody shit all over it, okay? This one, fifth one's going to come out, and it sounds like it's going to be a repeat of shitting all over that one, too. So we're going into a phase in Hollywood where they're taking all the gold that we had, and they're tossing it away for brass, okay? And what we're getting is just, you know, crap. And they're destroying franchises. And people are saying that Disney is losing money, you know, out their ass, because they took what was a great film franchise like Star Wars and they've thrown it into the hands of television, okay, and now it's like less than stellar, okay, and Disney is basically, you know, ruining Marvel, I guess, the Marvel characters and stuff in their TV exploits, and they're destroying what was a great franchise there. And so there used to be a time when Disney quality meant something with that company, and now it's being sold off for quantity instead of quality. They just want to make as much as they can, produce as much as they can to sell products and merchandise and stuff like that. And it doesn't matter how good the stuff is, you know, but the fan base is letting them know that, you know, we're not happy with it. You know, we're sick of people trying to use established franchises in Hollywood to try and make, you know, some kind of political statement about something, okay, when it's really not, you know, the forum to really do that with in some aspects. I mean, if you want to just make a movie that's just about a political statement, that's okay. Okay, but if you're going to take a beloved franchise like Star Wars and then inject a political statement in there and base your story around it, then you're basically, you know, you've turned it into something else. Star Wars has morphed into something else, and that's not what people like. You know, it's like what people always say, don't change the recipe, okay? If it works, leave it alone. Don't mess with it, okay? But some people in Hollywood feel like those things are just ancient, old-fashioned ideals, and they don't work in today's time. And I don't know how much of that is really true. I think they wish it was that way because they want to do these things. I don't know. But what they ought to do is test their theories out on independent films first, and if it sells, then maybe they can inject that stuff into other things. But right now, they're doing it the other way around, which is a stupid way to do it. It's almost like they're forcing people to have to see it because they know a lot of people will watch it, and they're just basically shooting that in there. And it's like, well, now we feel like we're being indoctrinated. Okay, now we feel like, you know, you're trying to sell us something here. Okay, the story, you know, it doesn't need that. Okay, it's not about Earth. It's not about humanity. It's not about about any of this stuff. You know, Star Wars is always about Star Wars. Okay, and it's just, you know, people don't want to be. Don't want somebody to design sequels to things that didn't need them, because George Lucas said way back when, you know, with Star Wars, that there would be no Chapter 7. He says that Return of the Jedi was the end of the story, okay, you know, and there would be no Chapter 7. And then lo and behold, Disney comes along, and what do you have? Chapter 7. They deliberately put threads at the end of Return of the Jedi that weren't there, just so they could create an artificial sequel, you know, that really was based in nothing. And even to this day, people still argue about it. And they figure that those 3 films just completely ruined the first 6 films. And that's why a lot of people simply won't include those movies in their library of Star Wars films. Okay? And I feel like Lucas probably feels the same way about that too. I don't think he was happy, but that's his fault, because he should have kept that you know, property under his dominion and not hand it over to Disney the way he did. I don't know why he did that. You know, the smart thing to do would have been to just hang on to it, okay, and then, you know, find somebody that can do it justice. And let them deal with it, but always keep it under the Lucas name, okay? But don't mess with it by letting some other company sell it, because Jesus, you know, they don't care about how you set it up. You know, once it's in their hands, it's their property. They can do what they want with it, right? No, I never understood that. Okay, I understand he was getting a lot of shellac from fans. Lucas was when they did the prequels, okay. And I guess he was getting sick of it, and in his way, he figured this was a way of washing his hands from it. But Disney was doing such a bad job with it that he felt he had to come back and help with the third, or episode 9, I guess, to try and salvage it in some way, okay? Because they really ruined his baby there, as it were. So, anyway, with Indiana Jones, going back to that, a lot of people feel like this is what's happening with Indiana Jones, because you know, Disney owns that too, you know, and that you know, that franchise was always one that was you know, that had a reputation for excellence because of the quality of the work that was done in it. And I don't think they ever did reshoots on the previous 3 Indiana Jones films, or even the previous 4, if I remember right. I don't think anybody heard about reshoots. But if they're doing that with this 5th film, then, you know, it could be a sign that you know, this may not be a good film. You know, I don't know. I could be completely wrong. And the only way we're ever going to know is when we go and see it. All right. Personally, I didn't think Indiana Jones 4 was bad. I thought it was a pretty good movie. I really liked it, okay? The only thing I didn't like about it was having Indiana Jones' son in it. I think his character didn't need to be in there. The movie would have done fine without him in it. I thought that was just, you know, forget it. He doesn't need a son, okay? We don't need to have a son. It was just their attempt to try to create a person to pass on the legacy to, if, you know, Harrison Ford passes away or something. You know, they wanted to have, you know, a Indiana Jones child to continue the thing, but it didn't work because people didn't like what's his name that was playing the character in the first place, and it just didn't work. But anyway, other than that, it wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't as good as the others, but I still like watching it, okay? And I'm hoping that no matter what problems they have with this 5th one, that this one, which is most likely going to be the last, you know, ends on a good note, at least, hopefully. But, you know, people, at the same time that people are mad that Harrison Ford, that they're doing a lot of stunt doubles for him and CGI, stuff. You got to remember, the guy's old, for Christ's sake. I mean, you can't actually have Harrison Ford be bopping around on a fucking horse, and getting into action scenes, even if they're fake, and you can't have him doing that, or his stunts. He's not a young man, people. That's what happens when you ask people to come back year after, in their old age, and ask them to do these characters. They're not physically up to it. Okay, he might be physically up to doing movies of a different kind, but Indiana Jones has always been action, fast pace and all this stuff. How much action do you think you're going to get out of him, okay, at this point? Hasn't he done enough already? I think this film, if it ain't the last, it should be the last, because, frankly, it just seems to me like, we're really squeezing the juice here to the point where right down to the damn skin of whatever we're squeezing, there's nothing left in it, okay? And I don't think they ought to do any more. This is it. 5 movies is really enough, okay? It's like, Lethal Weapon. They did, 4 or 5 of those things, and that was it, okay? That's enough. Plus, you got all the young Indiana Jones episodes that people watch out there. There's enough of it, okay? It's complete. It's all there. And so I feel like, this is the time when they ought to just say, look, let's do this. Let's make this the last. And maybe that's what the reshoots are for. Maybe the reshoots are either to make it so that it is the last, or to try and say we're going to have a spin-off or a continuation with it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they're trying to leave a door open for another movie or something, if that's going to even be possible. I don't know. Or they're changing the ending because they want it to be the final chapter in this whole Indiana Jones saga. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. They can't be specific about it, and I'm sure John Williams probably got a phone call from Disney, and he probably got a little bit of a ass chewing, I guess, for blurting out that there were reshoots being done. But John Williams, I don't think really gives a shit. Okay, nobody's beholden. He's not beholden to anybody. Okay. They asked him to come and do the music for this movie. He didn't have to, He didn't have to do it. But they asked him to write the music, I guess, for this. And so he did. So his part in this is all done. Okay? Unless they want to be mean-spirited about it and find somebody else to orchestrate this, I don't think they're going to do that. The guy's legend in Hollywood. I mean, if they do that, you're going to be looking at boycotts all over the place over Indiana Jones 5, So I feel like this has really gotten the ire of a lot of people, what they've heard so far about this. And like I said, it's only bringing up more bad feelings about Kathleen Kennedy, who still is involved with numerous projects at Disney. Everybody was assuming that she was going to be replaced, but she's still there, okay? And the CEO that they had, they let go and replaced with the previous CEO that they had, the one who bought up Lucas's stuff and everything, and kind of left Disney sort of in a tailspin, I guess, which never really recovered. And so when he left, he came back now, and he's back in charge. So people are really not too happy with the way Disney's been doing things lately, and personally, I feel like the quality of Disney. I think what they got so much. They got way too much. They overreached themselves, I think, is what it is, and they didn't consider that they had the talent to maintain these franchises. I don't think they did, because when you buy property from somebody and you shut that person who had it last out, how well do you think you're going to be able to maintain it with relative new people coming in who've never dealt with that stuff before? Okay, you shut George Lucas out of it, out of his own creation, and you hand this over to a bunch of 20s and 30-year-olds. Do you think they're going to share the same view George Lucas had with it? Probably not. And so the material is going to evolve in a different way that people aren't going to like. And that's what's happening now with all these things, is that A lot of the people who worked on this stuff, created it, made it what it was, are now being kind of shoved aside for a new generation of people in the movie industry. And these people come into this thing, have ulterior motives to a lot of things. You know, they want to say a lot of political things, and they want to do this, they want to change that, and you know what I'm saying. So everybody's messing with the recipes of what was good, you know, in Hollywood, you know, the classics and stuff. And creates a lot of resentment, because, you know, our generation hasn't died yet. Okay, we're still around. We might be getting older, but we remember these babies here when they were great on the screen. Okay, we remember these things well, and so we're still around to create a lot of hoopla if they don't listen. So anyway, I hope everybody has a great you know, New Year, and you know, hope you've had fun with celebrating and stuff like that. And I guess for a lot of us, like me, we like things calm and, you know, subtle. We don't like to have big parties or something like that. I'm sure right now in downtown Bangor, you've got a crowd down there waiting for the idiots on the top of the building to throw the beach ball down on the ground. Our version of the New York ball that comes down, theirs is nice and it looks like chandelier. Ours is a beach ball wrapped up with Christmas lights. and they toss it off of the top of a 7-8 story building. You know, talk about, oh jeez, you know, Maine people are weird when it comes to shit like that. So anyway, we got a lot of people down there, and they get shit faced, and some of the stores down there will have exhibits or something like that going on during the night. I went there once. It wasn't like, yeah, you know, something I'd want to go back and do again. I mean, it was okay, but right now, tonight, it's not even cold out. It's like 40 degrees out right now. So if somebody wanted to go right now, they could, and it'd be really nice out for the evening and stuff. So anyway, I hope everybody's having a great time, and keep your ears open for COVID. So a lot of people are lifting their restrictions so they can have these parties and stuff like that. So be careful. Just be careful out there. And be nice, everybody. Treat each other well. I'll talk to you all later, so take care. Bye.